Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I want to share with you a tip that will support you in saying no and speaking your truth and choosing to respond in situations so that you can create the outcomes that you want in your relationships and in your home and work life. And that step I call just being curious. And what I'm inviting you to be curious about is that moment that you find yourself in a conversation or a situation where you really want to say no or, negotiate a different situation, but you're feeling stuck. And what goes on in that moment? So, as an example, you're having a conversation, that same conversation you've had many times where someone maybe is asking you to do something or be a particular way, sorry, and you really in your heart, you want to say no, or, you want to be able to point something out, but you start to feel uncomfortable, you get these thoughts and feelings, maybe we could call it fear, and it's controlling you and you just feel stuck, like you're not going to go there. So it's at this point we can get curious. Curious about what? Well, curious about what are our thoughts? What are we believing? What are our thoughts in this moment? And what messages are we getting from our body, the sensations in our body? So, thoughts that could be arising here are, God, I really want to say no, but if I do, they're going to be pissed off. I'm going to hurt their feelings and insult them. I'm just going to start an argument that I don't know if I can manage. Come on, I'm just being selfish. It's no skin off your back to agree and to go along with it. I feel guilty. I shouldn't be saying no or arguing with it. So we have these thoughts and we have these beliefs. And then we can look at how we're feeling in the moment. And often it might be, butterflies in the stomach or a restriction in our throat or a tensing of our body, kind of like an overall resistance, creating fear and self-doubt. So between our thoughts and our beliefs and the sensations and feelings in our body, it's like it all points to this general, are you crazy? Look at the trouble you're going to open up if you say this, or, you're not going to be able to deal with the argument that comes, or who knows what you might be creating on the other side. And it's almost like our mind and our body wants to tell us, it's better to just stick with the devil you do know, the upset and the frustrations you do have, rather than the fear and the devil you might create by saying something, right? Very normal situation. So we have this, if I might say, a habit, a way of being in this moment that as a people pleaser or someone who just doesn't want to upset things or has a fear to, it finds ourselves in when we really would like to say or do something different, but we're feeling stuck. So I'm inviting you to get curious about this, because when we can look at how we were thinking and believing and acting, we can begin to change it. So I'm calling this way that this resistance, these fear thoughts, beliefs, and the body sensation as a habit. That is a habit of our body and mind that we're so used to, that we believe is so real, that the beliefs and the thoughts must be true, and the fear in our body must be telling us that we should avoid going there, right? It's telling us it's scary. Like, why shouldn't we believe it? I'm suggesting that this habit of mind and body isn't necessarily true, and this is where we can really get curious. And we get curious by, in the moment, really just breathing. And again, the other person doesn't know you're going through this. This is just something you're dealing with in your mind while you're in the moment. You don't have to answer this person right away or make a decision, but take some time, as much time as you think you can, to just really notice, well, what am I believing about myself, about the situation? What thoughts am I telling myself? Simply notice, get curious. And these feelings that I'm having in my body, where are they? What, get familiar with, is my body heating up? Am I beginning to sweat? Am I just starting to feel tight and want to run, right? What are these body sensations? And we're just noticing, and we're just allowing. We're not judging it. We don't want to say we shouldn't feel this way. We're just noticing. We're just taking on a project of deep curiosity, and we're beginning a process of loosening the hold that this habit has over us. And that's what's powerful about having curiosity about how we do think and feel and behave, is it has this ability to disempower that habit. It's kind of like in The Wizard of Oz, when the characters finally arrived up at the wizard and looked behind the curtain and they found out it was just a human being talking into a microphone. They realized no longer were these messages true and powerful and can control, that no, really, they were just a human voice in the background talking. And we can liken that to our own habits, especially of these fearful habits that we have in the moment, that the beliefs and thoughts that we're having may not be true. And the sensations of fear that we have, they're based on something old, and maybe we don't have to necessarily listen to them. And what's important here is this habit that we've developed is something that we learned and created for ourselves long time ago, which made total sense, and it kept us safe. Normally, a lot of these fearful, especially the fearful habits, are something that evolved from when we were young, and we sort of had to just figure out how to stay safe in our environment, and we blamed ourselves, and we just figured out what we needed to do to keep the environment safe, balanced, calm. And I'm suggesting to you now, with this curiosity, that when we are willing to look at our thoughts and beliefs and how we feel in our body, it gives us room to then question, well, are these beliefs true? I'm thinking these thoughts, but do they really serve me? Do I really want to follow them? And these fear sensations that I'm having in my body, we could say, well, thank you. Thank you for warning me. I know you want to keep me safe, but is there really something to be scared about here? We can't necessarily change what our body's feeling in the moment, but over time, as our adult, mature self can speak to and acknowledge that scared small self, we can begin to kind of untangle and dissipate the experience and make it such that we can actually be awake enough and alert enough to maybe choose differently in the face of it. So when I say be curious, notice, and allow, it can look like literally I'm in the moment of fear and freezing and not willing to speak my truth. Is to really, like I said, breathe, take a look, just as if you're stepping outside of yourself in a way and looking at yourself behaving. What are you doing? And these are things you do over and over again. So as we start to pay attention, we start to notice, oh, I'm having the thought of guilt, believing that I can't say no, believing that I'm only just going to cause problems, believing that I can't manage the outcome of this. Noticing how your body's tightening up. And the more we notice it, and see it like externally, it creates that room to say, I gotcha, but this is what I need to do in this situation. Now, in this video, all I'm asking you to do is do the get curious part. Just really spend some time, and it's a very courageous act. It's not easy. It's a process and takes time to just be willing to be and look at and observe. Get curious about those moments when you're just full of fear and don't think you can speak your truth. And just start to get used to and notice what that feels like. What are you doing? What's going on here for you? And what you do after, it doesn't matter. But it's this point that's really, really important, because until we know what's driving us, what makes us do what we do, we can't begin to change it. But once we can start to see, oh, I'm starting to get those thoughts again, these feelings are coming, and this is what it's causing me to do if I'm not paying attention, we can go, oh, instead we can go, oh, here's these thoughts again. I know they're not true. They used to help me, but they don't anymore. I feel scared in my body, but I know that I can get through this. So that's what I leave with you today. Again, this is what I work on with my clients, this very important critical point of choosing different responses, and together we work through what those might be, how they, doing it and how they felt, what happened, and working through the emotions and feelings that arise when we do try to break out of old patterns of habit and create new ones. I'd like to also invite you to my Facebook group if you just want to join a group of like-minded women who talk about these issues. And if you would like support in your journey to break free from people-pleasing and learning to speak your truth and creating the life and relationships that you want, feel free to book a free mini coaching session with me where we can look at you and also discuss if my coaching might support you in your journey. And I'll leave the links for all that below. And until next time, thank you for watching, and do take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.